phrase shared by the National Alliance on Mental Illness this month, and here it is. It's not weak to speak. During Men's Health Month, this is a message specifically geared towards them. Mental health experts say there is a silent crisis, pointing to the fact that men are nearly 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women.
We want to remind you, if you or someone you know is in emotional distress or even a suicidal crisis, you're encouraged to call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number, 988. They have crisis counselors available 24/7. One of the main causes of stress, research shows, is money and financial concerns. So here to talk about how to address that particular stressor is Nathan Astle, a licensed therapist who also founded the Financial Therapy Clinical Institute. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us today and giving some insight on this really important topic.
Of course, thanks for having me.
We want to ask you, on your organization's website, it says it offers a safe haven for people who are looking to find financial healing. So what are the types of things that you hear from people who are turning to you all for assistance and for help?
One of the things that we're hearing is that men are struggling. In fact, a recent survey from Beyond Finance shows that only 27% of men rate their mental health as excellent, with even lower 15% saying that their financial health is excellent. What we see is that mental health and financial health is inherently connected. We can't deal with one without dealing with the other. And it's so important that we make space to talk about how these things are connected.
Nathan, in your experience, do you find men more reticent to step forward and seek help to deal with their stresses? And if so, why do you think that is?
I think we get a lot of messaging about what men are supposed to be when it comes to money, and there's still this expectation that men are stoic and that they have it all together, but we don't. And that's not a realistic or a fair expectation. We need to make our culture better when it comes to saying, hey, men struggle just like women and everyone struggles. How can we make this a safer place so we can talk about some of those struggles, so that we can share in the burdens that we're experiencing, whether that's with mental health or with financial stress?
So if someone out there is dealing with shame or stress, particularly surrounding money and finances, what are the first steps that you encourage they take to start working toward healing?
Yeah, there are a few things that I think are pretty universal. One, you got to talk to someone, whether it's a family member, a friend, your spouse. But we need people in our corner. Humans are meant to have people. The second is, when you're starting to make a plan or a goal, try to start small. We don't have to have this big master plan to get us out of debt or to move to the next, financial goal. Just put one foot in front of the other and do the next right thing that you can do. And finally, remember, you aren't your paycheck. You aren't your debt. Money is something we have, but it's not who we are. And the more we can remember that we can separate our identity and how we experience ourselves from money, which is something we need to deal with, the better I think we do to stay out of our shame, stay out of our frustration and anxiety, and just be able to move forward.
That is such a key point to make, and I'm so glad that you highlighted that. But what are some of the ways that you see financial stress impacting someone's well-being, and how important is it to recognize those and address them?
Yeah, well, like I said, debt is something, and financial stress is something that can kind of just be an undercurrent of the experience. It's something that goes up and it goes down, but it's almost always there. And it can lead to frustration, anxiety, overwhelm, but quite frankly, embarrassment, because our culture doesn't do a great job talking about money. So things like the Beyond Finance survey and just other resources, it's so important to know, hey, we can talk about this. It's okay. All of us deal with money every single day, whether we like it or not. So let's do better with this.
Nathan, such important reminders for all of us, and particularly during Men's Health Month too. So we really appreciate you and the work that you're doing out there.
Of course, thanks so much for having me.